is my favorite holiday because I like the anticipation of Christmas. Christmas is a letdown. Christmas Eve is the shit. Now, I can remember last Christmas Eve. There was this stomp and something awful on my roof and chimney. When I ran downstairs to grab my coat, I heard somebody let out this big ho, ho, ho. Oh, come on. I stopped in my tracks and I got even madder. Then I ran around the back and I grabbed my ladder because I knew some fool was playing a trick on me, and I don't play that shit. Not on Christmas Eve. Now, when I got into the roof, I was ready to go for blows, except I forgot my boots and my toes was getting cold. I just cussed them out real good and run back down the ladder. You know, if my toes weren't cold, you know I'd have gotten better. But when I focused my eyes, I couldn't believe what I saw. Because there, in a customized Yves Saint Laurent, was the finest man that I'd ever seen. Oh, let me tell you how he looked so you can see what I mean. He had on a hot red custom tailored one of a kind with a white silk shirt and a snowflake diamond in his ear. And he looked me dead in the eye. I felt my knees begin to buckle and a chill went up my thigh. At first he looked disturbed because I caught him in the act. Then he began to smirk. And I started moving back. I mean, he was fine and all, but what kind of fool would be on the roof on Christmas Eve? Now, that's beyond cool. I started fast down the ladder. He clapped his hands. I was on the front porch with the doorknob in my hand. I was scared as hell now. Ran up to my bed, and there he was, standing in all that red. You know, I couldn't scream. I couldn't even call my mama. Because not only was he in red, but now it's red silk pajamas. Oh. But he was so fine, but I felt real silly. I knew this was a dream. This wasn't happening, really. So, big and bad, I walks over to the bed. I wasn't going to let this mess with my head. This was more unreal than any dream I'd ever had, but it looked like the dream wasn't going to be so bad. But all the while, that smirk never left his face. So I took off my coat, put it in its place. I got in the bed and I turned out the light, and I thought, this is going to be one hell of a fine night. All of a sudden, the bed started going round and round, and I started holding on to the stranger in my bed. He was so warm, and he kissed my head. He stroked my hair and held me tight and whispered, it's going to be all right. And held me tighter in his arms, protecting me from any harm. I never felt this good before, and I got greedy, and I wanted more. But this, man, I didn't have to ask for any because this man had plenty. See, we rolled out through the night. I wanted more, he never tired. I mean, he was a dream come true that just appeared out the blue. I said, who sent you? He said with glee, don't you remember when you asked for me? I heard you singing at the club that song, Please Send Me Someone to Love. This time you meant it. And I thought it would be a good gift to give you on Christmas Eve. So I went to the pole to talk to my boss. I think you know him as Santa Claus. And I said, there's a dream I'd like to fulfill for a needing lady. Can you pick up the bill? He said, sure. But you got to remember this here. This only can happen once a year. My powers only work on Christmas, Red. So if you take too long, you good as dead. Be back if you know what's good for yourself, or I'll be looking for another elf. Santa said for me just to give you a taste. He said if this was a taste, the meal must be great. You've taken me to heights unknown. My mind has nowhere else to roam. He looked at me, said with a sigh, I must go now. I have to say goodbye. I sense the coming of the sun. I just have time for one more one, and it was good. Oh, God. It was better than steak that had a triple high rating from the USDA. I thought it was hip going round and round, but it was 10 times better going down. My mind just left me. I was free to nothing, nowhere worried me, and I woke up screaming in my bed. When I looked around, there was no more red. I ran down, looked under my Christmas tree, and lo and behold, what should I see but that chinchilla I'd asked for, one of my favorite things, and a whole box full of fried chicken wings. Inside the coat was a card to read and some red silk pajamas. I almost peed. And when I read the card, I had to hold my head because it said, Merry Christmas, love and kisses, red. I'm glad Christmas don't come but once a year, because if this happened again, I go crazy, I fear. But this has gone too far and I'm getting in bed, so Merry Christmas, Happy New Year from Mickey and Red.